Jesse camera. There's my sweetheart.
I forgot to mute the microphone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
You're a little fuzzy, but I think you're coming around. Let's get you some more light.
Yeah, we don't need that. It can be fuzzy.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to a Lang or another of Time Studio. It's Jesse is still shaking the sickness. I mean, I think you're completely over it now, right? It's just...
It's made its return is what's happened.
Oh. Well...
It's come back. And I was just going to do something, and now I can't remember what. Babe.
Here, hold on a sec. One thing I forgot.
I'm sure it was important.
Forgot to check. Let's move that over. Okay, good. The poll is visible. Good. And but yeah, to start things off, you know, today is a very special day.
Okay.
It's true. April 23rd is kind of a momentous day.
Okay. Oh, Danielle can't sing in the choir. I'm sorry. Like, not today, because...
Because why?
Having throat issues.
Did you infect her?
I think so, and I'm so sorry, Danielle.
My goodness. Well, anyway, to share with us why today is such a special day.
See, I'm hearing all sorts of noises. What's happening?
You sure are hearing noises over there.
And thank you, Ragdoll.
Okay, let's see. So, oh my goodness.
I hear
everybody is, I'm sure, very, very excited about what has happened, except that I can't seem to get it on the screen. But I do have an idea. I'm gonna make a little change. Hold on. And dun dun. There we are. We have with us a very special guest.
Oh my gosh.
Because today is Levuna Day. And we have with us Jonathan. Yeah, I know.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us why?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
So today is the 4th anniversary of the day Levuna came home with me, and everyone here is obsessed with her, so here she is.
Woo!
Obsessed with good reason.
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on, but that's fine.
Well, she's cleaning herself, so she certainly feels quite comfortable.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes.
Look at that handsome kitty. Oh, what a precious cat. And not only that, not only is today the 4-year anniversary of the day Levuna came home, but Jonathan actually reshared a message that they shared on the Discord saying something to the effect of, I am going out to get a kitten right now.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's how we know it's the exact 4-year anniversary of the day.
Yeah, that was actually how I double-checked, because we got the date wrong. We thought it was yesterday, and then yesterday morning I went and looked at Discord.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Also very nice of Levuna to clean the desk. Oh my, what a wonderful, wonderful cat. Look at that cat. Also a nice little conlang hit right there. That is,
Thank you.
Your language up there. What does it say?
It's a poem. Oh boy, I put the full text in Discord. I can't exactly read it for you off the cuff right now,
Sure.
but yeah.
But that's really cool, and it's about Levuna and why she's a wonderful cat.
Something like that, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Jonathan. And Levuna,
You're very
Levuna,
well.
good kitty, we wish you very well. You're a very good cat, and we are so happy to share in your day with you. Thank you for sharing your magnificent presence with us.
And okay, so a couple things. One,
Yep.
our mics are turned up correctly, right? Because everybody's commenting on how much louder Jonathan was than us when I didn't feel like Jonathan was that loud via what I was hearing. But anyway,
Oh, there's a reason.
okay, so
I didn't bother to
that's fine.
I didn't bother to correct it.
That's fine. Okay. Second, like that background that we saw of Jonathan's language,
Yeah.
that's on a chalkboard wall. And so I just want everyone to take a moment to think through what that means, because think about how beautiful that looked, how it looked like Jonathan had it professionally, like did it digitally and printed it and then, hung it up rather than hand drew it on a chalkboard wall. And anybody who's done chalkboard art, like, wow. Okay, so let's just make sure that all admiration goes out to Jonathan and their incredible, incredible artistic abilities.
Yeah.
Just so amazing. And then, of course, Levuna is beautiful.
Yeah. Somehow my video got, it went askew.
Well, Ragdoll's saying we aren't that quiet, so yay. Okay.
No,
I was just really worried that.
No, yeah, it wasn't us being quiet. It was Jonathan being a lot louder, and it's because the way I thought if I just put on the desktop it would show up, but no, it didn't show. It just showed. Why did it do that? See, it was above the. I have no explanation. Anyway, I changed Keynote to be Discord, and then the volume was all the way up for Keynote, and so it was blasted. Anyway, very, very, very sorry, Jonathan. You were blasted to the world. But I didn't want to change it because I thought, I don't know, maybe if we got a meow from Levuna, then
Everyone would hear it.
But
Okay.
Levuna was quite was quite calm and happy and not really into making noise at the moment, which is just fine. All right. That's true. Jonathan messaged me because I direct messaged them, and he was like, so we're not going to test, and that is my exact quote. Testing, this is LTS. All right, I'm going to pull the what's it up there, the poll. I'm gonna go grab my my notebook, just because the only times when I find myself wanting it is when it's not
That's
there.
when you don't have it.
Yeah. Okay. So this way I won't need it. Very very Lewis Carroll / Catch-22. All right. So this week's poll, apologies, there was a little bit of a mix-up. And so I hope everybody got to fairly evaluate all the options and was able to vote on the one that they wanted. But essentially, what we had here is we were deciding on how we were going to do polar questions or yes/no questions. And we came up with 3 options. You may remember when during the episode we had 4 options, but we decided to eliminate the no distinction because with the way that the level tone system worked, it was going to be very difficult to distinguish a question from a statement with purely intonation. So, anyway, so that was the old A, which meant that the new A was one of the 2 word order shifting options. The first one was just to front the element in question. So by default, the statement that we're doing with is e usa, so that's biting. Ingo, the bat. I, object. Suna, maple seed. So the bat is biting the maple seed, or bites the bat the maple seed. So for fronting then, you would just take one of the arguments, and that's the whole argument. So if it was the object, it has to take the preposition as well. And you would drag it out to the front. So, ingo e usa isuna. Is the bat biting the maple seed, or the bat is biting the maple seed? So for this, there would be no distinction between special emphasis on the bat and a regular question. This would be the default ordering. However, we did have options for emphasizing other elements. So for example, isun la e usaigo is it the maple seed that the bat is biting? You notice that it's isun la that gets pulled out, the whole prepositional phrase. Or is it, or the kind of default word order, I guess with some special emphasis, would be the bat is biting the maple seed as opposed to hugging it, you know. E usaigo isun la, right? So that was option A, kind of shifting the word order and fronting a key element. Option B was the opposite of this. It was de-emphasis, but it wasn't simply taking the element and moving it to the back. It was going to be leaving a trace. Now there was some variables in place here because we don't have our pronoun system yet. So that'll probably be what we do today. Figure out what we're doing for pronouns. Update, Levuna is now digging around in my trash can. That Levuna. Okay, so for de-emphasis then, we would have to drop a pro form in where the shifted element was. So remember the standard is e usa I no isuna. The bat is biting the maple seed. So is the bat biting the maple seed, or the bat is biting the maple seed would be e usa, then the pronoun that is going to be co-indexed with the bat. So e usa isuna, and then ingo. So just right there, just gets thrown at the end. And we have examples with the other thing. So now it's the maple seed. And pull the miles there. All right, so e usa inu I blank suna. So you kind of hear the pronoun, and you know that it is co-indexed with what's to follow. And then we're going to have to figure out some form of a little proverb like do, and that gets put into the actual tense thingy, right? And then bat, and then isuna, and then the plain form of the verb is listed, giving us a second way of using the plain form of the verb. So, oh. Hold on a sec, I gotta...
Yeah, I'm also responding.
Well, how's it dangle with that? All right.
The return drive would be shorter, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, a little LA talk here. Yeah, if she's coming this direction at 5:15, you remember what it's like getting picked up at LAX. She's going to be driving through LAX.
Actually, wait, should we maybe also, if she's not going to get here until late anyway, just say leave an hour later and your drive will be, like your arrive time will be the same, but your drive would be shorter?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, never mind.
If you leave anywhere between 4:30 and 6:30, you're going to hit that. If you're coming down the 405.
So imagine leaving then at 6:30. would you still get here around 7:15?
It is an interesting question. A dangerous experiment.
Okay, I'm gonna tell her I'm gonna have David through driving options
Yeah.
after we finish streaming.
I will say I think I have seen a worse airport than LAX, but it's not coming to mind. But LAX is definitely one of the worst. The part of the reason that I was excited that Los Angeles was getting the Olympics in 2028 was in being awarded the Olympics, LA in the United States had promised to make some improvements to the infrastructure around Los Angeles. And that include key improvements to LAX. And so they have been working on it. They just haven't been released yet. I know that they will need to be done by 2028. And so the hope is that the LAX experience by summer 2028 will be a more positive one and will have lasting positive effects for all of us who live down here. Because, I mean, yeah, I've been to a lot of airports, and it's among the worst in the entire world. Like, even something like the New Delhi airport, better amenities on the inside, and the kind of mess that you see out front with all the cars is not too different from the usual driving experience in other crowded parts of India. So the comparison between what it could be and what it is not that great. Whereas, like, if you compare the driving experience between LAX and Long Beach, same county, night and day. Anyway, sorry. So, little sidebar there. But anyway, so that was option B. Option C is where the problem was. It was our longtime patron, Yoni Poher, who pointed out that option C was not written correctly. It was a copy and paste thing. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I edited some of the parts, but I didn't edit the important parts. That is the examples. So when you looked at option C, it looked like it was just option B over again, which was a mistake. It was supposed to be different. And so what I have written there is what we had intended for the most part. And so in this option, it would be like a verb, not verb situation, but because it would be so long, especially with the tense elements, what we did was kind of like had a little bit of a de-emphatic, not verb situation, where there is a proform standing in for the verb itself. So no actual verb there. Essentially, the not it means or not that or not the verb. And so we have usa ing. Oh boy, and there's supposed to be a space there. Ing isuna, not it or not that, basically, is the bad biting the maple seed. Somebody, I think it was Jake, asked if there were going to be strategies for emphasizing particular elements, and we hadn't thought through that, but it didn't mean that it wasn't possible for there to be. It's just that we hadn't thought through it the way that we had for the other two. Anyway, so those were the options, and I really apologize for those who were in favor of option C. It didn't get its fair shake, but even so, the option that won was option B by like a landslide. So I'm not sure if it would have made a difference. I hope not. For the sake of fairness, I hope not. Anyway, so option B is what we're going with, and so we'll work on pronouns today and fleshing the whole thing out. Anyway, so Biblaridian said I had a pretty unpleasant experience at an airport in Haiti. And here's my question to you. Did that have to do with the airport, or did it have to do with Haiti? Because that place has been in kind of a bad way for some time. I really feel bad for Haiti and Haitians. One second. I gotta. Right. Oh, Miles.
Miles is here.
Yeah. Also, Juno mentioned the tram at the Detroit airport. I too like the tram at the Detroit airport. I thought it worked very well. Kind of futuristic too, like more so than other trams I've seen. But it's nice. It goes in a straight line. The airport is very long. Yeah. You been to Detroit? The
I don't
Detroit
think
airport.
so. I was just wondering that, but I don't think I've ever, even so much as landed in Michigan.
I was stopped on the way home from, that was my layover from Amsterdam, coming back from LCC4, and they stopped me there to go over the Turkish coffee set that I had been gifted.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by I remember that, I remember the story.
Yeah.
I obviously was not there.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Miles, you missed it. I did a Miles, and I commented upon how I did a Miles. Ooh, Matei said 9 meetings. I kind of want to imagine that. I hope that one of the meetings was about a meeting that was going to happen after that meeting at some point.
Do you know the number of meetings where it's like you go to a big meeting and then there's a breakout meeting where the whole point is to discuss what was in the bigger meeting? And then after that, there's an even smaller meeting to discuss what was discussed. I don't miss those days.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always grateful when we get layovers at Midway in Chicago because I don't mind Midway. I like it much, much better than O'Hare.
Yeah. And they have, I want to mention this, they have a little, not like really a franchise, but an exterior version of the sandwich shop on which the series The Bear was based.
And we ate there.
And it was good.
It was very good. Messy, but good.
Yeah, it was. I think in future I'd go without the sausage, but definitely dipped. It was so good. It was so good.
Okay, David. So I know C lost.
Yeah.
I don't think you've announced the winner.
No, B.
Oh, B won?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
B won.
sorry. I told David my brain is moving on a just much slower pace than would be helpful.
And for myself,
It is helpful.
it's difficult. I'm being frustrated by a number of things that aren't related. And so it just makes...
Is there anything I can do about your frustrations?
Not really.
Oh, so it's... Okay. Well, maybe I could help.
I mean, if you want to turn around and finish all of our translations.
It might take me 3 days based on how quickly I'm moving.
Oh, I get that. Okay, so let's con some Lang here.
Oh, yeah, I am doing so much better than I was in the last 2 weeks. And honestly, like, I feel like Monday was my best day this week. Maybe Tuesday. Tuesday was my best day this week. And it seems that whatever bug I had is making a little exit show, you know, like a tiny encore to say, remember me before it leaves my body. But it's a tiny encore, not a big one. So it's not smashing my system, but it's also just like, you know, I could really go for a 4-hour nap.
Yeah. I like that idea of the whole 4-hour nap. I'm a little tired.
Oh, is that one of your frustrations?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Sometimes it's nice to feel a little tired. Sometimes it's awful.
Sometimes it's nice to feel tired.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I don't really enjoy feeling tired.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, I don't, do most people? Like, is this something people enjoy?
I'm honestly glad that I could confound you the way that all of you confound me, being like, I like my bed to be ice cold. That's why I put all the comforters on it. Get out of here.
If you put comforters on, your bed isn't ice cold. Do you mean bedroom?
I mean bed. Everybody talking about how like they want their bed to be nice and icy cold when they get into it. And turn on all the fans and then also put on all the comforters. It just makes no sense.
Okay. So I'm glad that I am not alone. Jonathan suggests that perhaps the nice tired is called sleepy, but it's really only nice and pleasant when you're like in bed and getting cozy. Jake is like, I don't understand you, and I don't either.
Remember that sleepy time tea with the little bear?
And Magpie says one can be very cozy while tired, but tiredness is not the pleasant part, and I agree with that. I like cozy. Cozy is good.
Hold on a sec. I want to. There we go. Remember this little bear? This little bear sitting in his little chair with his little cap.
Oh, I remember. I've toured the Celestial Seasonings factory.
What?
Yeah, you can do that. It's out, like, it's right outside of Boulder. Okay, so you didn't know. It's in between Boulder and Longmont.
That means I've driven by it. I've driven from Longmont to Boulder several times.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know if it's technically in Niwot or right by Niwot, but it's like as you're going in between, there's a little town called Niwot in between the two. And it's closer really to that than Boulder, but I think Boulder is its incorporated city address.
So you're saying I can meet this bear?
I mean, sure.
You and I have been to Boulder since we've been together.
Okay, I had no idea you were this interested in tea.
This is incredible.
Like, I literally had no idea that you would be at all interested in tea.
Okay, well, first, let me say this. I really appreciate and enjoy the pageantry of tea, even if I don't like drinking tea or hot beverages. But, I think it's a very cool and neat thing. It reminds me a little bit of the interest that people have in these sparkly waters like LaCroix, where it's like there are all these different flavors and they sound they sound so magical, and people have all these opinions about I prefer this one to this one, and it seems so neat. And then of course when you taste it, it all tastes the same and it's all bad. That's my experience with tea, but I mean, I like the idea of it. It seems so fun, and but also I'm still learning new things about you. Isn't that nice? This is extraordinary. We have family in Denver. We have family south of Denver. We have family southwest of Denver. We don't know anybody in Boulder anymore. Well, you might know a few people in Boulder, but we need to get back there.
But also, we've only been to Colorado once, right? You said you acted as though we had been to Boulder multiple times.
I have.
Okay.
We have been there
We
once,
together
but
went
I have
once.
been there multiple times.
I have obviously been there multiple times, but
Yeah. This is amazing. And did you take photos?
no. Well, one, this would have been before I had a photo-taking phone. So I
Yeah.
would have needed to have traveled with my digital camera.
True. No, I get that.
So, yeah, no. And in fact, it may have... I don't even think I had a digital camera at that point.
No, I understand.
'Cause
They
I
were
didn't-
expensive
I didn't have a digital camera until
and a pain. Like you had to do stuff
like
with all that stuff.
2005, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
And the quality was poor. Like you had to pay all this money. It was very difficult to use, and the quality was poor. It was. We lived through some dark times. Anyway, this changes everything. I want to tour this factory with you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this happen.
I feel like you think this is some sort of like, I don't know, you may just be a little disappointed.
Well, maybe we'll see. As long as I get to meet this bear,
You're
it'll
not
be
going to
fine.
meet a bear.
Okay, but I mean, this is kind of like how I toured. I toured the Jelly Belly factory. If that was something that really interested you,
You know,
and the Jelly
I
Belly
think
factory does not disappoint.
In general, I think
You haven't been
factories.
there.
No, but in general, I think factories are not my level of excitement of what I want to tour. It's more like I'd rather just go to the cool gift shop than see how things are made. It's not as exciting.
The Jelly Belly factory is pretty
I
exciting.
will say, like, for me, the most exciting factory I've ever toured is the Scholastic Book one. Now that was
that
exciting.
too. That too. Yeah, that would be pretty
but-
darn exciting, and any American kid would know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's sort of like, it's you see some things and
Oh yeah, that Jelly Belly factory. That's my number 2 site in Sacramento, right below the Train Museum, which is.
I thought Sacramento wasn't that cool, so I feel like the bar is not set high. I've only heard bad things about Sacramento, like people trying to get out.
We have a very nice Capitol building.
Okay.
Compare that to Florida's Capitol building. Good Lord, or Indianapolis. If I'm remembering the right one, they just look like office buildings. All right, so anyway, we need to move on to something, I guess. What are we talking about?
I guess we can document questions.
Right. Let me get that back up. Matisse used to work at a book factory. How about that?
Actually, one of the coolest little exhibits, when I was in New York City, there's this little museum dedicated to the old printing press. And they actually showed you how it used to work. It was really cool.
Are you reading what Juno's writing?
Oh yeah, it's too much for my sick brain, and so now
My
maybe you
goodness.
don't want to go to Celestial Seasonings after all that.
We'll have to see if they've kind of cut ties with that person. That's my goodness. Wow. I had no idea. All right. Okay. Questions. Oh, we need to remember that we have those little numbers. 2 to collective, 2 wings equals 1 bat. This is so charming. All right.
I have to say, I don't really drink Celestial Seasonings tea anymore, so I don't support them as a company. Now that I know this, it sounds like I should never support them as a company again.
We'll see. You have sometimes. I mean, if corporations are people and people can change, then. And if that's
Cool.
all there is, then why don't we keep dancing? All right. So, in Doc, a yes, no, or polar question is formed by taking one element of the statement, replacing it with a proform, and moving it to the end of the clause, as this derives from an older D. I'll do it just like you wrote it. D-emphatic construction. All right, now we can start this, but we're not going to be able to finish it because we don't have the pro forms. So we'll at least get it started so that we know what we're doing. Some examples are exampies.
Indeed.
How do I want to do this? Let's do it like this.
Well, now I'm curious. Now I just am curious because the guy who's into the cult stuff, I don't think he does anything with it. Like, the company was sold.
Huh.
And so, like, I don't think he does anything with it anymore.
Statement. Nope, nope. All right.
Yeah, he's retired. So that's something. Anyway.
Equal. A bat is biting the maple seed. Okay.
But is the bat?
Well, this basic question. Nope. Doop. Okay. So that, aside from deleting the red, I basically think that's as far as we can get before moving on to pro forms.
Okay. And I'm almost ready to super pay attention.
Mm-hmm. I really like I really like this window into Jake's life. From Jake, I can't remember ever having visited a real factory. I guess I went to a local place where they make a lot of jam, but I think it was more where the fruit was processed rather than the jarring plant. A very British anecdote. I like that.
I'm sending you a screenshot of the map so you can see its red pin location. And I made it so you can see both Boulder and Longmont on the map.
Taking a look. There's a city called Gun Barrel?
Yeah.
Good Lord, and it's next to Coot Lake?
Which is all south of Hygiene.
It sure is. Okay, and you say this is called Niwot, not Niwot?
Yeah, it's Niwot.
All right, Niwot.
And so there's a park and ride at Niwot where you can catch the bus.
Oh. Seems like kind of a long way to drive to just park your car and then take a bus. Might as well just keep driving.
But then you have to pay for parking in Boulder.
True. Wonderland Lake. I'd much rather go to Wonderland Lake than Coot Lake. I guess coot is a type of bird.
All right. I'm absolutely here now.
Huh? Danielle Dandelion has been drinking a dandelion root chai.
Ooh.
That reminds me of the episode that we saw of what was it? I think it was the culinary cup with the dandelion greens.
So it was a challenge.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Or was it Top Chef? I don't remember.
I feel like it may have been Top Chef.
Miles saying, I adore dandelion greens. The whole point of that was how bad dandelion greens were. Like, they're terrible.
The whole point was how strongly flavored they are and how the person needed to use it, but like it had to be used. Maybe it was culinary.
And the strong
Because it
flavor
had to
was
be
super bitter, apparently.
And it had to be used, like, I think in a dessert. Like, it was a weird pairing. This is really going to bug me.
Yeah.
But I don't... Okay. Should we
We need to talk about
do pronouns?
Yeah. I really want Miles to say more about dandelion greens. While we wait, I will consider pronouns. Goodness. There are so many questions. All right. Do we have a section on pronouns? I don't think we do. Do we?
We just have the table, don't we?
Yeah, we usually don't discuss pronouns in a little section, do we? All right. So we're gonna go to the yellow table, and I'm going to ask the questions here. So they're roughly like this. 1, we have a basic and singulative number. How won't that apply to pronouns? 2, we have 2 genders, a merging of an earlier 4-gender system. Will any of those genders apply to our pronouns? 3, we have a case system that involves prepositions. Will there be compound forms for non-nominative case marked pronouns? Our standard word order is VSO. Will there be clitic object pronouns that subvert the standard ordering? Are there any other questions that might apply here? Where's that at?
I think that's good.
Okay.
Is it almost time to celebrate something?
If we had done something, sure, yeah. Let's throw out a little poll.
If I just answer all 4 questions and you have to do what it is that I answer, is that worth celebrating?
Yeah, I am throwing a poll out about object clitics.
Okay, go on. I'm curious to know.
You know, I learned today, by the way. Today, this is when I learned it, that apparently there is a rotating 6-month presidency for the European Union. It rotates every 6 months.
I didn't know there was a president.
I
of the
didn't either.
European Union. I'm
And
sorry.
yeah, I didn't know how that worked anyway. And apparently the presidency is rotated to Ireland this year, or will in July. And as a result of that, while we are in Dublin for SpecCon, woo! Dublin Castle will be closed. And we will not be able to tour it. The last day that you can possibly tour it is June 1st. So if you're coming in early for SpecCon, keep that in mind. And you also won't be able to get tickets online starting May 31st. I'm sorry, like May 1st, I think. You'll have to get them in person. All right. Wait, Madeline and Bibleridian, who are both watching, or were at least watching at some point in time. Mayhaps we could pull a sneaky tour, since we get in on June 1st.
And when does it close?
June 2nd.
And you're suggesting we go straight from the airport to a
With
castle?
all of our luggage, as tired as we are.
This isn't the first time David has scheduled things the day we landed on an international flight, before we ever checked into a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Jake. That is the best part of old castles, the jet lag. How do you even tour a castle without it?
You know, there's a part of a lot of old castles that is called the Jeteleekere, and it's a place where you can kind of sit out the jet lag. It has it always has airflow in, so you kind of feel it, but it's nice and cool and dark, so that you can just kind of
Madeline is
vibe.
way too on board with this. Let's go straight to the castle thing. Madeline, you need to get on my level of energy here.
Yes, he's like, Madeline, you're here. I need you to be here.
That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I have no doubt Madeline could land and go tour the castle and probably walk the entire city and
Go to a chippy, and then, we can all
Play
sleep in the
some
car as
cornhole.
Madeline drives.
I
Because
feel
she's the
she
one
could
that
do
has
all
to
this in
drive.
one day. They were too enthusiastic for him. That's great. Okay, David.
Yes.
I agree with what our voters are saying, and
Okay.
I thought that would be fun to have some sort of
So
object pronoun that would end up being fronted. It would be like a cool little word order flufferoo.
All right.
For
So,
that.
so you were a yes on that, but not only that, you were suggesting, if I understood you right,
Oh, well, VOS would also be a word order flufferoo for a VSO language.
that was what I was anticipating, but this is Intriguing.
Oh, David's gone somewhere else. That's fine.
All right. So, okay. Sorry, I was trying to over it so that you wouldn't, you know.
I'm dying. Okay.
And see, I agree with Madeline here. The adrenaline of excitement is normalizing. That's why, sometimes I feel good about doing stuff right off the plane. Let's do it.
Do you remember, like that one time we were flying? Oh, it was when we were flying to Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a layover in Munich.
Yeah.
And David's like, let's go tour Munich while we're on a layover.
Yeah.
And we did. And do you remember I felt so dead?
I don't remember that part.
And I was so done. But we had walked out to where we were, and then we had to turn around and walk back. And I was like, oh God, I'm dying. And David was not dying. And I was just like, and we had to keep sitting down because I was like, and yeah.
All I remember
We got ice cream. That was the good part.
It was lots of fun, and we were there. It was like, it wasn't like Pride, but it was during Pride.
It was during the overall celebration,
Yeah.
but not for the actual parade.
And there were,
Yeah.
there were banners up everywhere.
Yeah, there were rainbows everywhere, which was lovely. It looked beautiful. It was lovely. I was so tired that I could not fully appreciate as much as I would have. I
got an incredible photo of it. In fact, gosh, I would love to show people this photo. I don't know if it's possible. Because it's one of my screensavers, or not a screensaver. What do you call it? It's a desktop background. There, I'm just gonna.
It's the big pretty building with the rainbow flags, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it on Discord.
Yeah, Madeline. And not only did you do that, but you got there in the morning, and so we had to wake up early to meet you there. Do you know? That was a wild day.
Jonathan made a funny post and quotes and memes, but yeah. And of course, you're just going to be seeing this as, the background photo for my desktop, but the actual photo, I'm really proud of that photo. I think it looks fantastic. I really enjoyed that. What a day. What a day. Okay. So we got that. And so I'm guessing then,
Yes to 3.
because of this,
And are we
I
actually
was
going to have
to
post
say
positions for?
no.
Oh, I was going to say, are we going to actually have post positions for pronoun objects? No, that would be too much.
I'm wondering about this because we have to have the proforms, right? They have to be dropped in place of things that are moved, right?
Say that again, sorry.
The proforms need to be dropped in place of things that are moved. For the yes/no questions, right? And so maybe I'll just put no. I don't know. We'll have to explore that because this is kind of a powerful statement, which kind of calls into question this part. Weirdly accurately, you know that I have perfect pitch. All right, we have 2 genders. Oh yeah, this part. What were you thinking about that? Yeah.
But then how does this work if a proform has to be dropped in place after the verb?
Now you're catching up. So yeah, then that's the question. It's like, well, is there going to be a separate proform that's used with the preposition that's going to be entirely separate from this clitic system. And in that case, why would there be a special form for it if it's used only rarely?
Okay.
Will any of those genders apply to our pronouns? What was your instinctual answer to this question? Like, what was the first thing that came to mind for you?
It will have reduced at this point to 2.
So in other words,
Because I think originally there would have been 4 different third-person pronouns.
yeah, okay.
But the phonological reduction, I think, is going to render it an unnecessary distinction.
Yes, my instinctual answer was no, that the pronouns were older, but this means the pronouns are newer and were created during the 4-gender era, eventually collapsing to 2. All right, so that'll be that. And now for number.
Something that could be interesting is that there was an archaic system of pronouns that got replaced. Like even before nouns were really taking on their genders. And that archaic system is what the clitics are.
Oh,
And
okay.
so when there's a clitic object pronoun, it actually is a different form and it's predictable, but it's, sort of like how you get some different forms of pronouns that are not related in languages. But like the subject and object form actually came from different roots. And this would be like the older clitic object forms came from different roots, but then as they started getting, put into preposition phrases and all these other things, these newer pronouns took over and you use them. Oh, yes. Go get ice cream and enjoy it.
Oh my god.
That is very approved.
Ice cream. What if Kopiko made ice cream, Jesse? Can you imagine?
Oh, it would be perfect. We've answered all 4 questions.
Well, yeah, except that we didn't really answer number 1. I just kind of wrote something down because this is about noun number. And I would say older system, singular plus plural. At least for first and second, third may be lost.
I think that the object clitic, like especially if they're different forms, could retain that singular and plural distinction in the pronouns. But maybe the newer pronouns don't.
That could be even more interesting. It could be like de facto plural marking for third person arguments by simple agreement. What a weird thing. So like, the pronouns, the object pronouns are used as pronouns, but then also kind of might end up getting used as agreement to show that it's plural. How unbelievably weird. God, I love that.
Type it down.
Oh, right, because yeah. No, I think it's going to be down here. Wow. Noun plurality optionally marked on the verb. Wow. Love that.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah. By the way, I know that Madeline probably isn't listening anymore, but I hope that she shares some photos of the ice cream. ice cream is like the food version of Levuna. You want to see it.
I'm going to let y'all sit with that, and I'm going to pretend like my husband didn't just say that.
It makes a lot of sense.
Cheers.
Cheers. Goodness. My goodness.
Well, this does remind me. How's our Copico stash holding up? Because that's our last bag there.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're good for several weeks.
Okay.
Copico. This one's for you, Levuna. Happy 4th Levuna Day. Ow. Why did I put a space between the M and E and me? That's weird.
Where did you put a space between M and E?
Oh, I typed something in the chat. And it's attributed to LangTime Studio, so somebody might even think that you wrote it. Terrible.
I see it now.
I own it. Yeah, Jake said the food version of Levuna is Lapna, which makes sense as well. Okay. All right. I'm going to open up the old notebook here. We're going to pop up to our sound bunkie and take a look. I'm going to talk about 6 sounds. Talk about some old pronouns. One of these may indeed begin with a vowel, because we do have the ya and the wa.
Okay.
All right, everybody, throw out your pro forms. Let's throw out something you think makes a good pronoun. We'll deal with
Are you taking them for all, or are you thinking of, like, we're doing first person now? Like what?
just whatever. We'll deal with the lexiquences after.
You're getting some in
Okay.
chat.
Jonathan, we unfortunately have already used nga for the number 2. So we can't have exactly that. We got an mba in there. Gosh, did we actually, hold on a sec, what was the number 1? Number 1 was so mba is still available. Just want to make sure. Yeah, mba is available. Okay. Back up. Me, he. That's funny. I'm actually gonna write down Patrick's suggestion. Just writing stuff down. Urung. Boom. W is green. Anything jumping out to you, Jess?
I wish I could say yes. I mean, a lot of short forms, obviously. Either nu or un. What if we have a pre-nasalized consonant as a coda, like I, D, or A, D, and, in the.
Okay.
You see Patrick's nah, third person for stuff you can't talk about.
Ah, now I get it. I didn't. Okay, so let's jump over to Lexergy. Thought I was on Lexergy. What happened? All right. I'm gonna just put some things in here. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. It's time to say good night. Comes out as sich, which looks like 6. Woob. Woob. Do we have any intervocalic lenition in this language? Because I don't remember if we do, but I think we do. I don't remember exactly how it works. Intervocalic lenition 1, 2, and 3.
I was just going to say, well, we've got
And 4.
affricates, voice stops, voiceless stops. So, I kind of like either un or nu. One of the reasons I said those forms specifically was thinking of an older form for a third person pronoun, and it would be different because, you know, the ye is associated with one noun class, a is associated with the other. So having something that's u based could help really differentiate this as a completely different pronoun.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it would work better to have a coda or an onset so that as a clitic it doesn't get lost. I feel like having un would potentially preserve the clitic as it attaches to the fronts of verbs potentially a little bit better. And so un may be a good form for that.
Okay, I like that. I'm trying to get something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, there it is. Interesting. Okay, what else? They both become G? Dang. Okay. All right. If we make un third person singular, it'll be easy to remember.
Because it's un. When I was doing something purely for other reasons, and it still comes out that way. That's great.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that there would be some really important difference if we made, like for making a prefix, like for example, TA glottal stop versus TA. And the differences are baffling to me. I don't super understand what I'm seeing, but if the difference here, like if it starts with a voiceless stop, is in the length of the previous vowel, and that's it. If we put in a voiced stop, big difference. Tulan versus tangdan, huge difference.
But that's
Sorry.
but that's because the voice stops are all prenasalized, and that makes a huge difference phonetically. It's not like you're just putting tatdan in there. You're putting tatdan.
Yeah, but but it's the glottal stop that's making the difference. I tried putting in fricatives and affricates, but there's no difference. What else have we got?
Thank you, Patrick.
Where's the vocalization for all geminates die? All geminates die.
Anime fan, we're making it somewhere with pronouns. I don't know what the last 10 minutes have held for us on that journey, because I really don't remember the span of the last 10 minutes. It's hard to say when 10 minutes ago was. I don't know. It was 3:02, but what were we doing at 3:02?
Copy-coing?
Maybe we made some pronoun decisions, anime fan.
Yeah.
And apparently David shared his credit card number but just for those 10 minutes, and then turned it off.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I like that I'm looking at right here. So we're just going to look at the top three right now, because I love the suggestion TA glottal stop for a pronoun. What we're looking at here is a theoretical verb, nzan, right? In the modern day, the basic form would come out as nzan, which is as intended. If you include the glottal stop, the prefix is essentially ta, with falling tone, and then the glottal stop returns, and it's just nzan. So pretty much exactly like its base form. What I like there is that it's easy. It's easy to figure out exactly that it's the same form. You just put it right in. So, ta nzan from nzan, very easy to figure out. If you don't have the glottal stop, what I like about the second form, dozan, is that dozan, you get a totally different vowel quality. And I like that. So I like something about each one. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that Z and show you what happens with a prenasalized D. So in modern, that's going to be ndan, very simple. With the glottal stop, same thing. Tangdan, right? Falling tone, glottal stop, same form. The middle form becomes wild. Tuolan. So we get the D becoming an L, which is something that happens intervocalically in certain positions. But also the vowel quality change, it's now tuo, not to. It's tuo. So suddenly it becomes long, moral-wise, right? And I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to throw in another form here just to show you what it looks like when nothing at all happens, when there's absolutely no difference. So this is a protoform, right? And it's going to be right below. And you can see we have sun in the modern. And then for both of them, it'd be da sun. No difference. No difference. It's really only these forms that have a voiceless stop or a pre-nasalized voiced stop or a pre-nasalized voiced fricative. That's the only place where you see the difference.
Thank you, Ragdoll. I agree not only with Magpie using the 10 minutes of free credit card to send the Copico Corporation a bribe to make Copico ice cream, but also Magpie said you could do some irregular simplification on these, and I think that we absolutely could. And I think that would,
Yeah.
naturally happen with a lot of forms.
Yeah. Because what I really like is, it's like, especially if this thing is going to be kind of a clitic that you throw on the front, I don't want there to be too much change happening with the root, you know?
And so the glottal stop to me is attractive in that way. But, yeah. Oh, thank you, Dante Vision. And my brain also went on a little sidetrack as we were looking at these forms because dominoes was mentioned. I was like, weren't we supposed to be banning dominoes? But now I can't remember why.
Very similar story, actually. The previous, I don't think he owns it anymore, but he did all the way up until the 90s. The previous owner and founder of Domino's Pizza wanted to create his own specifically conservative
That's what it
Catholic
was.
city inside of Florida. Where
Right.
he would write all the laws.
I couldn't remember why
Yeah.
it was on one of the many lists. I try to be a good consumer.
Yeah.
I do, but
I'll,
it's so hard.
I'll also say this about Domino's Pizza specifically, and I don't understand this. Their regular marinara sauce is spicy, and I don't like it.
That's why you like the emos, the sweet sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, however, in liking this particular form, I do want to note that not all of them are going to end in a glottal stop, all the pronouns. Therefore, there will be some weirdness going on with other ones.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think having at least a couple of these forms be something that creates something rather predictable would be very nice.
Yeah.
And then whatever isn't following that more predictable pattern, they have the same irregularities. Like, so I would want to make sure maybe we don't use an ah for these forms. That would pull the stress off of the root and create.
Oh, you think that the A and the ta.
You put dun after it. Ta dun.
Shoot, because yeah, that'd change everything, wouldn't it? Oh, that's really weird. Because of how that worked, if you look at this form right here, first of all, it changed the tone from falling to high. And second, it changed the quality of the vowel.
Interesting.
I think we need to separate these things. Well, not like that. Same thing. Same thing. Interesting.
That was interesting way you just said that.
Boy, same thing down here.
Ooh, David's mom got Wordle in 2 today.
Dang, just like I did yesterday.
Nicely done.
I don't know, but maybe these clitics should just be clitics.
And so, like, attach at a late enough stage that they're not gonna mess with the phonology a lot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, of the roots anyway.
And so in that case, then we could, whether we want ta or ta, I think.
Yeah.
I think it matters a lot less. And I like that because then we don't need to, we can instead kind of across the board create some regularities of,
Yeah.
T before B's vowels, but like maybe just a T before a verb starting with an ah. But then you get the full ta form when it starts with anything else.
Basically, if they occupied a kind of separate reality, just these object forms, I'm going to say yes. So for the ta supporters, what cell did you imagine them occupying? We've got first and second person, and then also third person plural. What does it feel like if you're saying ta? To whom are you referring?
Me.
Jesse's vote. Let's see if somebody else had something that they're going to throw in.
Just waiting silently.
Not strong enough. Not strong enough. I think, yeah, not strong enough. Nobody had as strong an opinion as Jesse. That is first person. Okay. We've got 4 others to get through. I will say, for maximal consistency, it may be better to do... No, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take that off the board. I would like a CV form for second person singular.
Okay. So I was just going down the list here, and I actually, it's not CV, but I also wasn't thinking of it for singular, but rung. That feels plural.
Sure does.
That feels like y'all. Rung. I'm going to sweep my wing out wide as I say it.
Okay. I'm writing that in.
Okay. So, just laughing at the he and the me.
I think that was done purpose to get at my goat.
I think so too.
You know which goat I mean. Oh, he's over there.
It's a very hefty form, but would you consider the modern day Sikh as we?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. And now for
And bi was you singular originally. I guess it comes out as umbi.
Sure does.
Umbi.
All right. And so now we have the very important cell. Third person plural, the one that actually may show up as part of nominal plural marking. It's a crucial form.
Okay. Okay. I'm not feeling these forms. Sorry. I'm sorry. Um, I'm just gonna do a little trial here of my own. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Caleb is gonna rock you. Ancient so ba, ba, ba,
oh,
ba, ba.
protoform HUD comes out as hold. If we did A also comes out as hold. So HAD, hold. And like the H could easily drop out in terms of like becoming a marker. And so it could just be AD, old, if you want to have it as a shorter form.
What happens when that comes before a word that begins with a consonant?
Like actually put it in, is that what you're saying?
No, I mean like, because we got like glottal stop, nothing, nasals, weak fricative. These things can drop out. What about the nda?
I mean, it would, like, it's technically there the way we've written rules, but also as a grammaticalization strategy, something that ends in a modern day D, like wouldn't that easily drop out?
I don't know. It seems quite
Old bat?
powerful to me. Let's see what everybody thinks. We've come up with a perfect system for describing the power of a phone.
So then other potential ways to go would be HUH, which of course, you could drop out either side. TSUH, we would get su.
We already have a TS. Not many people have voted in the poll. I don't know if they like the if they like the options I came up with. I want you to discover it for yourself.
It's just a bunch of evil laughter.
Oh my goodness. Believe it or not, this was I attended a presentation that was done at a graduate cognitive science class, in a graduate cognitive science class. And have you ever been in one of those classes where the professor is very conflict averse and, like, let's just say you were talking about, I don't know, Gricean maxims, and somebody said, like, yeah, that's a lot like South Park, and the professor's like, that's interesting. Can you go into that? Yeah, I mean, like, like the show, like South Park. And I'm like, wow, that's a really interesting thing you've shared. Anyway, you ever been in one of those types of classes?
I am just very curious how different our experiences are.
Anyway, so the final presentation, which to me seemed very tangentially related to what we were talking about. This is supposed to be a final presentation, and these guys were clearly from CS and clearly had some CS project and just wanted to introduce, just to keep doing the CS project, and so kind of said this is somehow related to what we were talking about, even though it wasn't. Very interesting idea they came up with. Very poorly explained. It was a chat program, and I'm going to explain it the way they explained it. It's a chat program, but it has 4 windows. The main window, of course, is strong. But then if you have something that you want to say that isn't in strong, then that goes to strong weak, right? But then, of course, you have to have some place where maybe the strong weak, ideas can be responded to. So then that goes to weak strong. But then for weak strong, if you respond to that, then that goes to weak weak.
How do we feel about the form week? It's kind of fun. Week. Week.
Oh, anyway.
We don't have a proto W. How do we get W so we could get a week?
B intervocalically. Anyway, so here's the thing. I actually understood what they were talking about, and I thought it was brilliant. And it was because, like, the idea, you can essentially see this happening on Discord with threads, but they don't have the version of weak strong and weak, which is that, all right, you have the main thread of conversation and people are going, but then somebody comes up with an interesting idea that you want to respond to. You don't want to derail the main conversation, so you respond in a separate window that is essentially a thread. But then the same thing might happen in the thread, right? And so that was essentially their idea, but this was back in like 2005, before anybody had any idea about anything like this. And they had absolutely no idea how to explain this to another human person. It was incredible. So anyway, how powerful is D? The winner is strong weak with 60%. Second place was weak strong at 20. Strong came in at third, and weak was 7. Anyway, here was the point. Strong weak is essentially number 2, right? And so I don't know if D gets lost.
I invite you to come up with a form you like. I hate to tell you, I'm kind of over it.
Hold on a sec. Let me just see what happens to these. Oh, interesting. Hold on. Okay, so there's voice stops, and then okay, now we need DC. Right? Okay. What happens here? Okay. I love it. I love it, and I think it works.
Okay.
I love it, and yeah. All right, so then let's see.
Wrong way. I was supposed to turn away from my microphone.
Okay. All right. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I'm going to write these in just as protoforms, just so that we have them switching to pages. And then
When are you going to fix this font?
which font?
Palatino X.
Oh, we should make a wholesale switch to Noto Serif.
Because that's what I do in my personal documents.
Yeah, that's what I do on my personal documents too. Palatino X was a great solution to a problem that I had way back when. I think that the Noto series of fonts essentially solved that effectively, but you know, we didn't ever actually make the switch. That's, I think, kind of on me. Like I have no attachment to Palatino X at all. I love the font Palatino, but you know, this is not necessary. Thank you for saying that. We should do it with the main template.
I actually am going to put that on my to-do list, especially right now where like I want to be productive, but like I'm struggling mentally from, you know, just the overall tiredness. I feel like being productive by changing the formatting of the original template will be something that will make me feel good about life. And it's something that I can fix some of those other errors that creep into that document, like where you enter and it's suddenly underlined.
Yeah.
But also where we had copied and pasted certain bulleted lists where they actually could be formatted differently without the way that they're formatted. So
Right.
anyway.
Oh, I would look forward to that. I think it's great.
So I'm going to add that to my list.
By the way, I would love to know what Jonathan's talking about. The every time this happened, it annoys me. Every time what happens?
I think the glottal stop. Like
Oh,
where it
the
doesn't
change in
fit.
font. Yeah. Yeah, the reason I love the Noto series is that it was really a labor of love. They put so much effort into being able to not only accurately represent all of Unicode, but to accurately represent all of Unicode in a very like thematic and beautiful way. Just an extraordinary font. Anyway, so we're just going to write those in for right now because that is now the older system. Okay. And so, gosh, I'm so lost. This table is going to be so big and so complex. I don't even know where to go to next. I think what we're going to have to do is this. So, because we know eventually we're going to have our genders. So we're going to need those, but let me think here. Yeah, call them after. Merge those. Merge those. And then we're going to have to add a header row below. Unmerge these. Should have done that first. Let's change the color of these to be a little bit lighter. Maybe like that. Yes.
So I was looking at Brill because Brill is not natively in a system, and Jonathan said that both both them and Tethys would recommend Brill.
I wouldn't even consider it, just for the record.
Not even if you see its little logo. Just a second. I'm sending you a screenshot. There's a little screenshot.
Let's see what we got here. Did you send it to me on Instagram?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm seeing it. Oh, it's Athena with her little owl. That's a good owl. I like that.
But I have. So I use Noto for most of my projects, but I will say I started one of my language documents more recently that I'm currently working on, just for fun to see how it looked in several contexts. I started using Merriweather.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually, like, it does all of the IPA bold and italic. As far as what I've needed anyway. I mean, I'm sure I could test others. But I've rather enjoyed the look of that one.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Jonathan uses a slightly edited version of Brill that they made called Brillig.
That's funny.
I love it.
All right, we need to come up with some forms. So I think we actually already have this in a table up here. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, these. I hate to do this. Okay. Jesse, can you go to page 17?
Would love to. There we go. I am on page 17.
All right. Can you please read me off the basic forms of those verbs? I think the first one is T, squeak, right?
Yeah, so just read the bear column.
Give me the protoform column too, just in case. So it's
Okay.
T, right?
Yeah.
And then
T, long I, high tone.
Okay.
The next one is to hit, which is glottal stop A in protoform, and just a long high in modern.
Okay.
To fly is rach in protoform, R-A-H.
Okay.
And it is also R-A-H in modern high.
Got it.
On the Keet, to land, is proto and modern, or keet, high tone on the I.
Okay.
And of course the ejective K and T.
Right.
To boop is in protoform Kim, K-X, affricate, I-M.
Okay.
And in modern form is K-H-I, high tone M.
All right.
To rest is tsuna in proto. And in modern is swona. So how we did the high marking on U, no marking on O, and then a long high tone.
Yep.
To stand is prenasalized B, U, prenasalized D in protoform. And its modern form is ngbode, falling tone on the O. Ngbode, falling tone.
And you said mbund, right? B-U-D essentially.
B-U-D is proto.
Got it. Okay, next.
To tossed is U and then D-Z-A, so prenasalized D-Z-A.
Okay.
And that comes out as O low tone, za high tone with a long ah. O za.
All right, and that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, now then, we got to start putting these things in front. I am fairly confident. Okay, so now you can join me again on page 31. So we're going to look at the first one. Pretty sure what we're looking at is Da. Da again. So the glottal stop is going to reemerge because it's lost, right? Or does it start with... Oh no, it starts with a glottal stop. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay, so da, 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 again, da, da, da. It's
The chart doesn't have it starting with a glottal stop. Does that need to be added in? Did it get taken out?
It got taken out because of the formatting.
Okay, it's now added back in.
Okay.
I was saying, 'cause when I read it to you, it wasn't with a glottal stop in modern form.
Yeah. All right. Oh wait, we got to put the tone in there. Okay, so now we're looking at bod and oza, and this is where we're going to need to ask ourselves some questions. Oh, that's not bod, it's bod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very sorry. Okay, so as I recall, that's going to be ta in front of there. What about in front of oza? If we put it in as is, it's going to be, the glottal stop is going to reemerge. Do we want that, or do we want to make it just a T? And this is going to be super relevant because while we're doing it in front of these, because it was a handy list for different things that verbs can start with, most of the time it's going to be coming in front of a tense suffix. And those are going to be, K, angma, D, which is an interesting question. What will happen in front of D? But then we do have one that starts with a vowel, and that's the imperfect. So we're gonna see it in front of a vowel a lot, and so that's the A form. So do we want ta e or te?
I kind of want it to be shorter. I kind of want it to just be T in front of that form.
All right.
Because the modern of just ta is just short, right? Ta? Yeah.
Yeah. Incidentally, we also have hit upon a slight romanization, little buggy boo, in that we use the apostrophe for a glottal stop, and so I don't know if we would also use it for a clitic, or just write it. Use a hyphen. But anyway, okay. So then that answers that important question. So we've got the first person singular set of prefixes. So help me, Patrick. All right. Now,
Do you want to go ahead and fill in the independent column, since that one is just the modern form, right?
I guess it would be. So we're going to see the definite differences are third person. So then it's a question about what is the first person going to be for the independent form. So this, the fact that these are older, I think, brings back into question the possibility of having special forms, because they're essentially going to be occurring after the independent forms are... It might be in situations like, as for me, I don't know, but occurring after E and after do, the prepositions. So I suppose there could be special forms for that.
mean, I think absolutely based on what I'm seeing, if we didn't have like a suppletive form and we just used the same form, I think independently it would never show up as ta, but would show up as da, or the click ah, because the dun would lead to a click,
Yeah.
and the other form is going to lead to a da. And so, like, I think it would actually end up being rarer to get ta as its form.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, we actually do use apostrophes for clitics, don't we? We already were doing that.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Because it's never going to be a glottal stop if there's a consonant before it.
Mm-hmm.
Or after it,
Yeah.
like the do.
So I'm gonna put, and do is it's low tone, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's high tone
What?
before a consonant.
Before a consonant, it's high tone?
No,
And not
actually,
before a
no,
vowel?
it's high tone. It's low tone when it's combined with a singulative.
I apparently don't remember how we did this.
It's pages 11 and 12. So you can see the bare forms, the laudative and the locative. You got high tones. When you combine them with the singulative, then that's where you get the low tones. So it's going to be do, like that. Dunga. Ida, dunga. Okay.
So we didn't run these in Lexergy as the noun forms. We treated them as two different words the whole way through.
For
the
noun
dune.
for noun case marking, yes.
Yes. For verbs we did not, but for nouns we treated them separately.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how we didn't have low tone because I was like, I'm typing it in every which way and it's all low tone.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Now I see where we're headed. However, I do think, despite the fact that nouns themselves wouldn't have had, they didn't have a lot of interaction. So, like, the nouns don't get these beginning consonant mutations.
Yeah.
But I think the pronouns should.
Yeah.
And so I like that we are using that.
Okay. Wild question then. Do you think with that then we'd get the low tones on the actual case markers, even though they don't have low tone elsewhere? So in other words, rather than ida, it'd be ida.
Well, okay, so as a follow-up interesting point, David.
Right on.
Counterpoint. If you put in ta as one unit,
Yeah, it becomes ie. I know.
it becomes ieda.
Yeah.
If you put it in as two units, like a space, a word space, so it gloms on later, you get e in the high tone and da falling tone.
Really?
Yeah. And then, of course, ta on its own is just short, high tone. Da.
My goodness.
No, because we're not going to, I don't think we want to mess with the tone because of that.
Okay.
I think maybe the top one is the better model, and having it be low tone, high tone is actually absolutely an option.
Oh, okay. What do you think we should do?
I'm trying to decide. My gut is telling me to have it low tone, high tone for these, and have it be ida and do click a.
Mwah. Okay.
Um,
All right.
and what that would signal in terms of what that would signal is that these forms kind of collapsed very, very early, where the pronouns just sort of like glommed on with these little markers early, and that sound changes applied, but like the grammaticalization was also going on where these, the u and the e vowel got reduced from the uo and the ie forms. And so it's like it was sensitive to multiple waves of things, which I think is an interesting thing.
Okay. Oof.
Okay, it is 3:56.
I know.
So before we go on any further, I just want to type a little note here on what we did, and we should talk about what we're doing for the poll for this week.
Well, probably the poll is going to have to be the reification of the third-person independent pronouns, how they filter through our gender system, both early and modern.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make a note on that.
And then I want to tell you what I just did.
Ooh, I had to. It's unfortunate that I can't see what you're clicking. What you're
I
writing
know I
in
had
a
to
cell.
remember to actually click out of it, but so the prefix you came up with, we did drop the H there.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out pretty standard in front of consonants.
Mm-hmm.
In front of a vowel, it comes out, the D becomes an L,
Oh,
which is kind of interesting.
that is interesting. I like that.
All right. But all of them generally have falling tone, and when it comes in front of a vowel, it becomes uo. But I did the thing that we did previously with the do on verbs, where if it came out as uo, it just kind of got railroaded into low o.
Yeah.
Figured that would be easiest for this, and so just low tone for all of them.
Agreed.
Okay. Well then, that is that. So thank you all for joining us. As a reminder, Levuna is registered at both PetSmart, Kohl's, and Tiffany's Jewelers. So
Both, and you listed 3.
yeah. Well, what are you supposed to say? Throth?
You could just say at all,
Both 3?
not use both at all. You could just say at.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, Levuna really could use a diamond-studded Tiffany collar. So, if you want to contribute, you probably should.
Just a color, though, not like a diamond-studded raincoat for outdoor adventures.
Oh my gosh, a diamond-studded Tiffany raincoat for Levuna.
Little rain boots to match.
Little rain boots to match. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so thank you all very much. We will see you next week, per usual.
And the Saturday, if you're a patron, we'll see you. Yeah.
Thank you. That I knew I was forgetting something. Saturday, patron live stream at 1 p.m. Pacific. We would love to see you there. Full, you forgot the apostrophe.
Indeed.
All right. Say grammar, everybody.